Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to be making my tier list of the LWCA League without a cool acronym, Season 2 Naranja Division. This is my first season of this league, my second full draft league I've ever participated in. So I'm not the most experienced player, but I did win my first ever draft league against all odds, even though they said my team was not the best. But it was, evidently, because I'm not that great of a player either. But I'm gonna go and rank every every team on a tier list. I just have their like mascots, the first pick on this list, just for convenience sake. I didn't want to I didn't know how I wanted to format it otherwise. I mean, some people don't have a team icon, and then I'd have to manually upload everything. I don't have much time. Okay, I have to go for a flight tomorrow, so I have to record this video pretty quick. Um, but yeah, so I have all the drafts here. I'll start with my own, I guess. Um, so with my draft, I saw Mega Metagross. I thought this Pokemon has a really good moveset. It's got body press, iron defense potential. It's got priority. It's got earthquake for steel and fire types that resist it. It's got ice punch with tough claws. It's just got everything, and it has amazing stats, decent speed tier, not great for a mega, but decent in general. Very high defense, so it's living hits, and it's obviously dealing a lot of damage with tough claws, 145 base attack. I just thought it was a very strong Pokemon, so I decided I wanted to lead off with it. Um, to complement that, I really wanted to get Primarina, but I couldn't. Um, but Water Fairy is just such a good typing, and it works so well with Metagross. It covers its fire weakness, it covers its dark weakness, it can hit ground types and the like super effectively. It's just a very good partner to Metagross. You can run all kinds of items on it. Um, Next, I took Terra Hydreigon, and the reason I took Terra Hydreigon is because it resists literally every single move in the game that hits Mega Metagross. It is immune to ground. I guess Zygarde can use Thousand Arrows, but that's about it. But it's immune to ground thanks to Levitate, and it resists Dark, and it resists Ghost, and it resists Fire, and it resists what else? It's just Dark, Ghost, Fire, and it's immune to ground. Yeah, so I thought this was a great complementary mon. It also hits on the special side, so that's my reason for picking that. Already pretty good type diversity. Not very many overlapping types. I have obviously two grass types and two dark types and two fairy types. Forgot about Dash Bun. But I mean, on this team, having two dark types I think is good because it supports Mega Metagross. They resist its weaknesses, right? Um, and I am missing a few Pokemon. Notably, I don't have a normal type, which would be very nice for ghost types. Um, I don't have a poison type, so this team's very weak to it's weak to hazards because I do have a very good defogger and Moltres, but I don't have a spinner, so I have to get rid of my own hazards too. It doesn't have spikes. It's very weak to toxic spikes. It's very weak to paralysis. I don't have an electric type either. So like missing a poison and an electric type is a pretty big deal, I think. Because basically every Pokemon besides Hippowdon can be Thunder Waved, and then if the Pokemon has Ice coverage or an Ice Terra, it's like it's going to be able to paralyze everything. I don't think it's the end of the world though, because yes, I have some fast Pokemon. Like half of my team is base 90 or higher, which is not bad. But I also have a lot of slow Pokemon. The rest of my team is like base 50 or lower. So like paralyzing them is better than them being burned or poisoned. So I figured that because I have all of these slower mons, it's not that big of a deal. But still, I'm missing a lot of utility. I don't have a cleric, no trick room potential, which is very unusual for me. I love a good trick room setter. Just on the off chance I fight a really fast, hyper aggressive team, it can be nice to pull out the trick room out of nowhere. Um, I don't really have a screen setter. Obviously, I have reflect and light screen, but the only one that on my team that learns both is Mega Metagross, and I could run screen Metagross, but it just seems like a bit of a waste of potential considering I can't even put a light clay on it. Um, so I am missing a lot. I do have Parting Shot though with Pangoro, and I think that's going to be very, very strong. I also have Wish Baton Pass with Dash Bund, um, which I also think was a very underrated pick. I could switch in on fire moves, get a +2 in defense, and then Baton Pass to like a Spadef like Reg Ice, which I think is pretty sick. But yeah, I mean overall, I think it's a decent draft. I think I have a lot of scary mons. I think the thing that's good about my draft is that there are no deadweight mons. Every single one of these Pokemon is coming to a game. If you look at some of the other drafts, I mean, you've got like Whirlipede, Wugtrio, Eldegoss. I mean, Eldegoss might come to a game, right? But it's just a little unlikely to me, right? I feel like you have a lot of Pokemon like Lycanroc Dust. I'll get into that later. That was a terrible pick. Um, I don't know. There are a few teams that just have some mons that I feel like are not very threatening at all. Like just are not going to come to any games. Like when you have a team like Dragapult and Tapu Fini, why are you bringing Hitmonlee? You know, I'm just saying. Um, but yeah, I think any one of these mons can come to any game, which I think helps my team. Dash Bun for utility and Wish Passing, Sceptile for Leech Seed shenanigans or like Specs, deal heavy damage, or even Swords Dance on Burden. Um, I have Weather, which I think was important to grab, and that also synergizes with Credilli, giving it Spadef. So I can make this very bulky. I could even like run a Sand, Assault Vest, Credilli, and just take 0 damage from any special attacks. But I already have Reg Ice. But yeah, I mean, I've got Ice Body against snow teams, right? I've got Azumarill to abuse rain. I've got Moltres to abuse sun. And I can put away weather. I think there's also some potential for like manual terrain against terrain heavy teams. I mean, obviously, I can. A lot of my Pokemon can learn terrain, like Sceptile and Credilli can learn grassy terrain. Obviously, Misty terrain on Azumarill, so there's definitely potential there. Overall, I'd say my team is decent. I don't want to like rank my own team too highly, but I think like aside from having the two grass types, which I feel like was a mistake in my draft, like having Credilli, okay, but then having Sceptile too, I don't really get it. I mean, I'm the one who picked the draft. The reason I did it is because I liked Credilli for the price. I thought it was really useful, really nice utility mod. But um, I ended up not wanting to have that as my only option because against like a Gravity Landorus incarnate, my entire team just completely crumbles. Like, yeah, I have tons of immunities, but that doesn't matter if Gravity's active and there's a nasty plot Landorus in front of me. So I wanted something that could just swap into ground moves safely, even in Gravity. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna put my team. I'm gonna put an A tier. I think I have a good team. I think I have a threatening team, scary offense, good defensive cores, a lot of potential to bring different kinds of mons. I think people will be surprised by picks like Pangoro on what they can actually do. I don't know though. Again, I don't know the history of this league, so. But yeah, moving on, we have Ocord. Now he was the first pick in the draft, so expect big things from his team. Iron Valiant is obviously a great first pick. I mean, this Pokemon can do it all. It can Encore, Swords Dance, Booster Energy. It can do Calm Mind. It can do Specs. Like you just never know what you're gonna face, and if you let it get one free turn, you lose. So already pretty strong start. Um, Petrarun I think is a good pick too. It's Terra Captain. Um, so it can Terra out of a lot of its weaknesses like Dark and Ghost. But even then, you have an Iron Valiant to handle Dark types very well. Um, but I like this, especially when you have Latios. Um, suddenly, your team really does not like switching into Ghost moves. Um, I mean, I guess you have Brute Bonnet, but like that's not really. I mean, it can switch into Dark moves. I guess I didn't realize it had 99 Spadef. Um, but yeah, no spikes on this team either. No T spikes. You do have Sticky Web, 1 point Sticky Webs, and I think that might come to a game or two. You don't really need them when you have a Latios, a Landorus, and an Iron Valiant. Those are three Pokemon all above base 100. Yeah, I mean, if we sort by speed, like you have a Staraptor who's 100, but then 101, 110, 116. Like, there aren't really many matchups, I think, where you'll really need the webs, but you might have to run like a Scarf Latios or a Scarf Landorus. I could totally see that. Um, a Tinkaton, another fairy type. Um, three fairy types on this team, actually. That's a lot of fairy types. I guess you don't really have any major weaknesses, though. Like, Tinkaton obviously covers a lot of fairies' weaknesses with steel. Um, team is kind of weak to rock, I notice. Um, but not really the heavy hitters, more of the extra picks. It's just these three guys right here, actually. Ice too, which I think is a lot worse. Like, this team's like, what does this team do against Curum, right? Like, you can't risk switching in an Iron Valiant or a Petra Runt against a Curum. Like, Specs Earth Power will just shred Petra Runt, and then Specs Ice Beam is going to destroy this, going to destroy this. Freeze Dry is going to destroy Blastoise. Earth Power, yeah, like a Curum would really go crazy into this team. It's got a super effective move for everything, but that is Curum. Not everyone's going to have that, obviously. He's got a lot of potential for like mons that can set up screens, but I don't really see any of these mons doing that. I feel like you're going to rely on Tinkaton to set up rocks and spread status. You don't really have the move slots for screens. Um, a lot of knockers. I did not know Magmortar learned knockoff. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, knockoff support's really good. Tons of defog. Oh my god. Rapid spinner. This team's not going to worry about hazards. Even aromatherapy on QD Fly, which might actually see a game. Oh, excuse me. Um, not so much volt turning action. I mean, I guess you have flip turn on Latios and U turn on Landorus. So I think that's a pretty strong offensive core. I do think this team is a little bit too specially oriented. I mean, Tinkaton obviously is a physical attacker, but it's pretty weak. Um, Brute Bonnet is like is carrying a lot of the weight here, and this sort of telegraphs SD Valiant, I think, because you're not going to bring 5 special attackers to one game. It's just not going to happen. Like, what if you run into, for example, a Regice, an AV Regice? You just don't want that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this is a very strong draft. It's scary. Landorus is terrifying. It can set up rocks. It can U-turn. It can run Sheer Force, Life Orb, and just shred through teams. It can set up Gravity, which can really help out your team. Make those Focus Blasts never miss. Hit anything. Petrarant, very strong defensive mon. I feel like on the physical attacking side and the special defending side, this team lacks a little bit. Um, like, probably you're going to see Shell Smash Blastoise. Doesn't have much recovery, so it can't really be a defensive Pokemon. I mean, it can Rapid Spin, but can't really switch in on attacks forever. So, it's kind of just Tinkaton. But still, the offensive pressure on this team is very good. Obviously, Petrarant's like the best physical wall you could ask for, and the stat total's pretty good. Utility's pretty good. I think this is a very strong team. Um, there are no huge obvious weaknesses. I do think it's kind of a missed opportunity that he didn't take a Mega. When you have this much hazard support, I feel like a Charizard Y or something would go crazy on this team. Um, because you don't have to worry about not being able to put boots on your Mega when you have 4 defoggers and a rapid spinner. Like, I think that this team definitely could use a Mega. I think it's also pretty knock weak. Like, Landorus hates having its life orb knocked off. Latios hates being knocked off. It's weak to it, obviously. I mean, Iron Valiant doesn't care so much, I guess, but that's something to consider. It's not really a knock absorber, like a Mega would provide. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty strong team. I don't really know what Magmortar does, but we'll have to see how that does. I also think Belly Bolt is a weird Terra Captain. I mean, maybe I just don't see it, but I don't see it right now. I'm gonna put this in B tier for now. Might go up, and maybe I'm wrong, right? Obviously, when you're doing something like this, when you're doing a draft tier list, anything can happen. If I rank a team low, it doesn't mean I think the team is bad. I mean, maybe it does, but it doesn't mean I think the team can't win. Every team can win, and I could just be totally wrong too. So keep that in mind for sure. Next, we have Pokey. This is a team I'm personally not afraid of, but that's just for my draft. I think it's. I mean, I thought that the Mega Swampert pick was a little weird because, like, you could have easily had Rain sniped from you. I mean, I guess people don't really want to waste their pick on a Rain setter when they don't have Mega Swampert, but I don't know. I feel like after you take our Chaladon, you should straight up take Mega Swampert so that no one else thinks, oh, I should get the Rainmon before anyone else does. So I just thought the draft order was a little weird, but I mean, he got Drizzle, he has Mega Swampert, he has our Chaladon, he has Toxapex. I don't really know if Toxapex is a good mon to have on a Rain team. Um, I do like all of the abusers that he picked. He's got Iron Leaves that takes half damage from fire attacks. He's got Klefki, same deal, which is very scary in rain. This Pokemon's going to take 0 damage. I mean, obviously, it's not an attacker, but it can come in, set up screens, and then you can go out to Politoed or vice versa, and then just send in Mega Swampert and just bulk up, and they're not going to be able to touch you. Um, it is a little slow, this team, but I mean, you've got 110 base speed mon, should be good, especially with scarfs. You can run Scarf, Electro Shot, or Chaludon if you really need to, and of course you have Mega Swampert, which is like the fastest Pokemon ever. Um, unless somebody runs like a Scarf 120 base speeder or something, um, which would be a waste of a team slot or an item slot rather. So yeah, I mean, you got your Rain, you've got Fairy Steel, Prankster Screens, Utility. This mon is, I think, really scary. This is a very strong draft mon. Um, I like Terra Gallade. You can probably, I think this Pokemon learns Aqua Cutter. You can probably do Terra Water Aqua Cutter with Sharpness in the rain, and that's probably going to do loads of damage. Um, Great Wall Breaker. Archaludon, similar situation. This Pokemon is so bulky, it gets stamina, and then you can just boost your special attack infinitely. I love an Assault Vest set on this thing, but in the rain, this thing is unstoppable. Like, even if you have a switch in, it's like, okay, I still got the boost. You switched in ground type, I got the boost, and I'm going to Terra Blast Water you. Oh, actually, he can't use Terra Blast, but I'm going to Draco Meteor you, and then you're just screwed anyway. Um, so yeah, I'm a big fan of this team, honestly. It's got a lot of synergy. Zapdos is really good for never missing thunders and hurricanes. Zoroark Hisui, I think, is actually kind of a sleeper pick here, um, because it forces your opponent to think so much more about like lead matchups. Like, sure, he might be leading Klefki, but what if it's just a Zoroark? And then you try to like, I don't know, you try to do something that would kill Klefki, and then spoiler alert, it's a Zoroark, and then he sets up Nasty Plot, and you lose. Again, Toxapex feels weird. You already have Mega Swampert and Politoed, like you have water types. I just don't understand why you would pick like the stalliest Pokemon on like an aggressive screens rain team. That seems like such a waste of a pick. Like it, I mean, you're still very weak to ground even without this, and then you have another ground weakness. Like, what is your ground switch in? Right? It's just Zapdos basically. Iron Leaves, I guess, but yeah, I thought Toxapex was a really weird pick. It's a very weird first pick to begin with, and then I feel like it doesn't add much value to this team. Like, oh wow, you resist you resist water, you resist fire. When you have a Mega Swampert and a Politoed, like you resist. What else you resist? You resist Bug. Oh wow, like you know who else resists Bug? Archaludon, and 4 times resist on Klefki, and Zapdos, and Zoroark, and then you resist Steel and Fairy. You don't. You're not remotely weak to either of those things. You're like super not weak to Steel. You're a rain team. Like Toxapex seems like a massive blunder here. For that reason, I think this team is very scary, but I'm gonna have to put it in B tier. I think for now. Um, I mean, obviously this team can put in a lot of work, but I just feel like so many points are wasted on Toxapex. And then Pincurchin, I just think is never coming out. You already have to set up screens, right? I mean, you don't have to, but you already have a screen setter and you have a rain setter. Like, you don't have the turns to also set up electric terrain. And then what are you gonna do? Rising voltage Zapdos? I mean, you have Quark Drive, but I don't know. I just think Pincurchin, when you already have Klefki and Politoed to worry about that are sort of, I mean, Klefki's not dead weight, I guess, but Politoed's dead weight in a match. You already have to worry about that, and you're gonna take Pincurchin too. Like, I just feel like there's too much setup necessary on this team. You do have Spikes though, Defog. It's a good team. I could definitely see it putting in work. You could even run Trick Room, crazy as that is. Yeah, Trick Room mode would actually be pretty decent. I'm gonna put it above the other team, even though it has Toxapex. Um, Next we have Mikey's team. Curum, obviously terrifying, terrifying first pick. I'm gonna try to speed through these a little faster. I don't want this video to be 2 hours long, but you've got rockers, you've got spikes. I didn't know Sandslash got spikes and rocks. That's pretty cool. You've got T spikes, defog, rapid spin, clerics for days, trick room even, which you're probably not using on this team. It's very fast. I really like Curum plus Mega Aerodactyl because Mega Aerodactyl is ridiculously fast. It's like one of the fastest Pokemon ever. And Curum's not very fast, better as a wall breaker, but this can tear through more fragile teams that threaten to outspeed and kill Curum. Obviously, Slowking plus Curum combo is really good. I think it's a real risk to wait to take Slowking until your third pick. I mean, I know there are two, but if I see Curum and I want Slowking or Slowking Galar, I'm just going to take it while I can. I'm not even going to take that risk. Um, hey. But yeah, overall, I think Tapu. Why is I'm surprised that Tapu Lele is allowed to be a Terra captain. That's crazy to me. Rhyperior 2 is like 6 points, which is pretty crazy. This team has a lot of attack. 109 average attack is very high. Um, but yeah, I mean, you've got Chili Reception, you've got U-Turn. I mean, just slow Chili Reception into Kyurem is so broken. And then you've got Sneasler plus Psychic Terrain. I think this team is very threatening. Terra Tapu Lele is terrifying, whether it's Terra Fairy or some coverage Terra. You've got Sneasler for those dark types that threaten these two. Um, and you've got dark types of your own. Well, Sableye doesn't resist Ghost, but yeah, I guess this seems a little weak to Ghost. That's my only thing. You've got fighting types and poison types, and then psychic types, and then another fighting type, and then you have nothing to handle like ghost types, like a Shadow Ball spammer, some kind of Specs ghost type or Nasty Plotter is going to kind of tear through this team, I think. But you have Terra Lele for that, which I imagine will be used against a ghost heavy team. Um, Terra Rhyperior is so good. Um, but yeah, I think this is a pretty good team. The type matchup chart's kind of all over the place. I guess you're not very weak to fighting because one of these mons is can terrastalize, and you have a lot of really good resist to some of your best mons. Ground, though, I think this is one of those teams that struggles against ground. I mean, you only have a low cost grass type to handle ground, and it's not even fast. Um, so again, this is like gravity would destroy this team, would just instantly kill Aerodactyl. And Aerodactyl in general is not the Pokemon you want as your only flying type switch in to ground, because when Aerodactyl is your only switch in, it's going to be hit by some coverage. It doesn't resist rock, which ground types often have Stone Edge. Yeah, I mean, this team has a few flaws like that, I think. Um, but I mean, Chilly Reception into Kyurem, Psychic Seed, Sneasler with Unburden, Swords Dance, Mega Aerodactyl with Tough Claws. And then you have a bunch of utility too in the back. Yeah, this team is very scary. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's not quite perfect, but it's definitely better than my draft, I think. Um, Next we have Not At All. This team, I have a lot of problems with this team. So this was the team that made me want to make a video about this because you have Meowscarada, which is a great first pick, great utility. It has spikes and toxic spikes. It has Trick Room. What the heck? It has U-turn. It has Protean, knockoff. It's got a great signature move that bypasses defense buffs because it's crit. It's just a great dark type. It's very fast. You can run Scarf. You can run Band. You can run anything on this. You can run Lead Sash, T Spikes. I think it's very strong way to start a draft. And then you pick Goldengo, right? So you have this Pokemon with loads of utility already. And then you pick Goldengo. And okay, look, this is a great Pokemon too. It can be very good offensively, but the main draw is that you can prevent hazards from being removed on your side unless they have like a scrappy rapid spinner, which I don't think exists. Except for like maybe Mega Lopunny. Wait, no, Mega Lopunny doesn't get rapid spin. But anyways, Steel Ghost, great typing. It has great typing. It's immune to all status moves, so it's status absorber. It can set up, it can sweep, but it's mainly there because it has lots of utility. It can recover. It has a really good move pool, but it doesn't really have the raw speed and power. Right? It's more of a utility mon. And so when you pick two different utility mons, right? I start to question your draft a little bit, right? But it's okay because there are a lot of low tier heavy hitters that could really benefit from the support, and there are tons of Pokemon that hit really hard. Raging Bolt with Terra, this thing is terrifying. Your draft's on track again. You have priority to deal with Pokemon that are faster than you. It's still pretty slow so far. Yes, you have Meowscarada, but it's more of a revenge killer. You're not going to be like sweeping with this thing. Um, Good type diversity, but like okay, the draft's coming back, and then you pick Lando. Why? Look, again, this is another great Pokemon, but you have three Pokemon that are less offense oriented and more utility oriented. You have Stealth Rock, U Turn. I mean, you can run Swords Dance Landorus, sure. Like you could run one of these offensive, like Choice Band, and then one of them for utility, right? But it's just like I just feel like you're pushing it a little here. I think it's still really good. Landorus obviously has a very high attack stat. It can Swords Dance. It can do a lot of damage, but you really want it for its utility. You want how it can defog. You want how it can stealth rock. You want it to U-turn. You want it to knock off. Uh, you want it to just be a general answer. You want it to intimidate. So I just think it's a little weird to pick three mons with high utility, and then only one like heavy hitter, and you still don't really have like a good sweeper mon. And then you pick Screamtail, and this is where I start to go, what are you doing? Because this is a wish passing mon. I mean, yes, it can like Calm Mind sweep with enough Calm Minds, but this Pokemon has 65 special attack. This is a utility switch in speed control defensive Pokemon that defensively answers other Pokemon. And like, yes, you can Calm Mind it, but you're gonna need a million Calm Minds before you can do anything, right? So you pick another utility mon, a Wish Passer, when you have four utility mons, and you pick another one. And then your last heavy hitter pick, your last 10-point pluser, is Samurott, who is another utility mon. Why? Why do you need all of this? You don't have any sweeping, you just have utility. Maybe I'm wrong, but like Goldengo, yes, it's good, but it's 80, it's like, how much speed is that? 91. 91 base speed. Wait, no, that's Bidef, sorry. It has 84 speed. It has 84 speed, so like, yes, it can do a lot of damage. It's bulky. You can nasty plot, but it's slow. Raging Bolt, it's slow. Landorus, it's slow. And then Screamtail, it's fast, but it's not it's not an offensive mon. It's more utility. And then you pick the Spike Setter, right? I mean, this Pokemon again, it hits hard with sharpness. 108 base attack isn't nothing, but you're using it for Ceaseless Edge and knockoff, right? You're not using it to sweep. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pokemon that are picked for their utility. I guess you've denied everyone else of utility because you've taken every utility Pokemon in the game. But I just think that this draft lacks a lot of immediate power. Um, and then you pick Lycanroc. Now, Lycanroc, I saw this and I was like, okay, that's a pretty good, value pick. It's got 110 speed, 117 attack. It's got tough claws. But this Pokemon, which this Pokemon, would you believe it? It has, where is it? It costs 9 points. You're spending 9 points on this Pokemon. Now, if we look at the tiers, for 10 points, you could get Eviolite Bisharp, you could get Conkeldurr, you could get Dracozolt, you could get Extreme Speed, Swords Dance Entei, you could get Haxorus, you could get Mamoswine. And you for 9 points, you could even get Salazzle or Sinistcha or Snorlax, and you pick Lycanroc. And what does this Pokemon do for you? You already have very strong rock coverage with Stone Edge, right? Because you're probably running this Landorus offensive if you have 5 utility mons. And so you're already running this Landorus offensive, probably, right? And then you pick Lycanroc Dusk. And this Pokemon, look, I know it's got a high attack stat. It's got a high attack stat, it's got tough claws, it's got high speed stat, but like it doesn't its coverage is not that great. And you have to hit Stone Edge. And you don't need the priority with Accelerock, which is like one of the main gimmicks of this Pokemon, because you already have Thunderclap, right? And this is not going to hit the ground types that are immune to Thunderclap anyway, right? And you're not going to switch this in on a grass type that also resists Thunderclap, right? So there's like zero synergy there. There's like zero offensive synergy with this Pokemon. And Pure Rock is bad typing in general. And like you just have another Pokemon that needs to set up to do anything. And it's 9 points for this. 9 points for Lycanroc. This Pokemon costs 9 points. Like, this is not worth it. It doesn't. Like, you already have rock coverage. If you needed to hit Pokemon with rock moves, you already had that. All you're doing is just adding, like, another water weakness to your team. Like, I mean, you're not super weak to water, but, like, this Pokemon, I just feel like is dead weight. Like, I don't see why you bring this to a game. Like, it's fast and strong, but it's not fast enough. It's not strong enough. And then you pick more utility with Hitmontop. I mean, this is a low tier pick. You needed a Rapid Spinner. I don't blame this pick at all. But I just Lycanroc for 9 points just seems like such a bad pick to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but Muck I think is fine. I don't really have anything to say about that. Poison Touch is nice. Spread status. Sticky Hold could be good. Alola and Vulpix is a good one pointer. But just look at this team's average stats. Look at this. Look at this compared to. Okay, this isn't actually much better, but even this is better, right? Right? Like, look at this. Green everywhere. Now, obviously, average stats don't mean much, right? In the grand scheme of things, there are more important things. But, like, this team is slow. And as I know I was digging on the Lycanroc, even though it's fast, but, like, this is not what I meant when I said pick a fast mon. And you don't have really sweeping potential. Like Lycanroc's the only one who can, and then your only win condition is a Lycanroc. What are you doing? I mean, Raging Bolt too, but relies on priority a lot. Or else it just gets chipped down. And like Raging Bolt, you want another Pokemon that can complement it, because like this Pokemon should get like 2 or 3 kills, and then it's done because it's just been chipped down too much. And then you rely on a different Pokemon with very great offensive stats to handle the rest. And you just don't have that. You just have utility, 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 utility. Look, I feel like you get your utility picks with the lower point mons, unless they're irreplaceable, right? Samurott could easily be replaced with a different spike setter. I don't hate it because it's a water type and you needed one, but you could easily have a different spike setter and another knocker, right? There's definitely another Pokemon that learns spikes and knockoff, right? Like Overquill. You could pick Overquill and get Intimidate too. You could easily run a different spin blocker, right? I mean, again, I get Goldengo because it's the best one, right? It does a lot of unique properties. Like this is, I don't hate this, right? I just feel like you don't take Meowscarada, Goldengo, and then also take Screamtail and Samurott. Like Landorus, okay, it can be offensive, it can do everything, so I don't mind. But like I just think this is such a waste. of team slots. I actually really don't like this draft, and this is gonna be a very hot take because I mean this is like from the Discord, it seems like this is the favorite draft, but I I don't like it. I mean, you've got a bunch of very strong Pokemon, you've got a bunch of utility, so I don't think it's bad, but I'm gonna have to put it in B tier because I don't see the vision. I don't see the vision behind a like a useless 9 pointer or 5 utility mons. You know what I'm saying? Oh well, I'm probably gonna get slammed for that, but and maybe he'll win the whole thing and I'll look like a total idiot. It's definitely possible. I mean, utility is there. You have nasty plotters like with Goldengo. You can set up and do high damage with those mons, but I don't know. This is Alfima's team. Oh, and I should mention that these are before any like changes, any grace period changes. I'm not gonna do another video for those two. I just don't have the time. Um, but like you have Tornadus Therian with Terra. I think that's very scary, very strong mon. Urshifu, I talked about this in the Discord. I think Urshifu's a bad first pick. I just think it's a trap. It's just not very strong. Its stats are really bad. Um, Wicked Blow got nerfed in Gen 9, and this Pokemon just doesn't have that much going for it. I feel like you just kind of click Wicked Blow, and that's it. And just coming in to do one thing is not very good in draft, especially for the price. I mean, was this a 20 pointer? Yes, this was a 20 pointer. This is one of the most expensive Pokemon in the draft. This Pokemon costs the same as Dragapult and Iron Valiant, and I think that's just a big scam. I think this Pokemon should be like 17 points, honestly. Um, but yeah, I don't like that. But I do love Terra Tornadus. I think that's a really good pick. You can run so many things with this Pokemon. You can run Life Orb, Assault Vest, Boots, Taunt, Utility. It's really good. Ogerpon Hearthflame, I think, is also really good. Yeah, you can't Terra, but you don't need it when you're a Grass Fire type with amazing coverage, Swords Dance, Trailblaze, all kinds of nasty stuff you can do. You've got U-Turn too. Um, you've got knockoff support with these two. Dragonite, I think also you can't really go wrong. Um, you've got Defog, you've got Rapid Spin with Avalugg and Eldegoss. I like Terra Avalugg too. Alolan Ninetales, I like a little less when you decide to pick Avalugg later. I know it's terastallizing, but if you're going to bring Avalugg, it's always going to Terra, which I guess is to be expected. But I don't know, just two ice types that are weak to steel. I don't know, especially when they're very similar. They're both. I guess Ninetales isn't really defensive, but it's not really offensive either. It's just kind of utility. Same with Avalugg. Registeel I like though. It's just a very bulky Pokemon. It can run like Iron Defense, Body Press stuff, spread Toxic in Nat Dex. Sandy Shocks too. I mean, these Pokemon are just good. I think there's synergy. I think the team's pretty strong. I feel like it starts to get a little weird the further down you go. Like, I feel like you don't need Eldegoss when you already have Ogerpon for Grass type. I mean, I guess it's a ground resist, but like, you only have two ground weaknesses anyway. I don't know. Um, Team's pretty weak to fire. I mean, obviously, Avalug's going to terastallize, but you don't have a lot of switch-ins for fire moves. You don't really want to have Dragonite be your switch-in because you want to keep that multi-scale up in most situations. You're also very weak to Stealth Rocks. Like, you would like to be able to run, like, Life Orb or something, or Assault Vest on Tornadus, but this is weak to rocks. Ogerpon's weak to rocks. Dragonite's weak to rocks. Ninetales weak to rocks, and that has to run like Clay. Very rock weak. Um, Luckily, you've got like Sandy Shocks and Registeel to switch in, and you've got Jellicent to hit them. But I don't know. I like Jellicent. It's bulky. It has Strength Sap. It could come in handy in a few matchups. Uh, but then like Whirlipede and Wugtrio, like, why would you? Why would you pick Wugtrio? What does this Pokemon do? All it has is a decent speed stat. That's it. The team's pretty fast. but you do, I think, lack a little bit of power on the special side. Um, I mean, you've got Tornadus, but again, you really want like a Life Orb or something to increase his damage. And then aside from that, you basically just have Sandy Shocks. I mean, you've got very strong special mons like Urshifu and Ogerpon. But I mean, I like this team, but I do think that there are some exploitable weaknesses. Yeah, you have all these defoggers and spinners, but they still have to come in on those rocks. And then they risk getting knocked off. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, especially when you've got an ogre upon Hearth Flame, like you want to make sure you're not super weak to rocks. But I feel like more defensive like knockoff setups would kind of mess this team up. Once you get rid of Urshifu's Choice Band, it becomes pretty helpless. But yeah, it's not bad. I just think these three last picks are not that great. Um, I also don't like having to choose between Avalug and Tornadus to Terra. I mean, Tornadus obviously doesn't need it nearly as much, so you're going to Terra Avalug every game. But I don't know. I think this is a B tier team. I think the other team's probably better. Um, every team's just going to be in B tier, B tier, A tier. But yeah, I can see this draft putting in work, but it has a few weaknesses. Um, it's got good type diversity though. This is a donors draft. If I pronounce any of these names wrong, I'm not sorry. You deserve it for making your name hard to pronounce. Chiyu, strong first pick. I don't even know how this Pokemon is legal. I mean, it's pretty predictable. It does the same thing every time, and you can't Terra it. Wait, actually, can you Terra it? I feel like you can. Yes, you could have Terra'd it. I don't feel like Terra should be legal on this Pokemon, but oh well. He doesn't have Terra on it anyway, which I feel like is a bit of a missed opportunity, but oh well. I like how this team has terrain, and I like Quaquaval for spinning, um, and for sweeping potential. I like Melmetal a lot. Melmetal is just a ridiculously strong Pokemon. Uh, this team's got very good average stats. It's got lots of knockoff. It's got tons of screens. You've got decent. I guess you don't have very much U-turn potential, but you don't really need that. Um, you've got Defog, Spin, Cleric, and Licky Licky. I mean, I don't know what this Pokemon really does besides use Heal Bell, but whatever. Uh, I mean, you don't have spikes, but you've got webs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my biggest problem with this team is that it's very slow. Like, you want to run Specs Chi-Yu in an ideal world, but against any team in this league, you're going to have to run Scarf because you only have 100 base speed. Your opponent only needs to have a 104 base speed Pokemon with a Scarf to outspeed anything you ever do. And I don't like that. I don't like being in that situation. I mean, you've got Quaquaval, but you need turns to get those Aqua Steps off. Turns that your opponent probably doesn't want to give you. Um, I like the terrain. I like Necrozma a lot with Terra. I think it's very strong. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think this is a pretty average draft. Necrozma's scary, Chi-Yu's scary, Quaquaval's scary, but the team is just so slow. None of these like you're not incredibly bulky. This team isn't super bulky. I mean, like your highest defense is 115 on Bulu. Your highest HP is Drifblim, which has no defense, right? Like your most bulky Pokemon is like a Spadef, Nihilego, and I guess Melmetal. But I don't know. Like you're not super bulky and you're very slow. You have webs, right? I get it. But then what if you can't get the webs up? What if they have a Pokemon that can just lead into Vikavolt and just destroy it, right? And then spin off the web that you set with your Focus Sash, right? You rely too much on webs, and you've got virtually no speed control. And then even when you do have webs up, your team probably is still too slow. Like Tapu Bulu, after a speed drop on like a 120 base mon, is still not outspeeding. Like unless you run max speed, and like even then, I don't know, right? But it's like you're not a trick room team, right? I mean you could run trick room, but like I just don't I don't get it, right? I mean I get webs plus Chiyu, that's really good, but I don't see how you keep those webs up. Your best spin blocker's a drift blim. Like, dude, I don't know. I just I think this team is way too slow, even with webs. Right? You have the best Weber. No, you don't even have the best Weber. Like Rabambi exists, but you have very good Weber. But that's all you have. Once webs are out, like if you lose your Vikavolt and then they take the webs off, and you're gonna lose this Vikavolt because it's insanely slow. You're not gonna be able to get webs back up if you get to your sash, right? Then you're just kind of screwed. So I feel like it's a very exploitable team. I feel like it's very scary in the wrong circumstances for your opponent. But I don't know. I don't think it's I don't think it's gonna be too hard to deal with. Um, yeah, honestly, I think this team might be a C tier, and that doesn't mean it's bad. Again, obviously, but you're just too slow. You have one Pokemon that reaches 100 base speed. Like, what do you do if they lead like a dual wing beat Pokemon into your Vikavolt and one shot you through your sash? You just lose the game immediately. What do you do if you get taunted? You have to run mental herb, and then if you're running mental herb, you get one shot. So I don't know. I really don't like this setup here. I like Melmetal. I like Quackleval for the Aqua Steps. I like Chiyu. I mean, Necrozma can boost its own speed, but you need turns. Again, you need turns for that. This Pokemon isn't so bulky that it can tank anything. You know, it's like mythical bulk. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Uh, like and subscribe. Ah, see. He's got Iron Bundle. Um, that was his lead, and Iron Bundle I think is very scary. I mean, you just can't switch into it. Just choice specs, Hydro Pump, Freeze Dry. What do you do? What do you do, right? And I think taking Iron Bundle and then later taking Palafin and Vaporeon is kind of weird. Only having one Terra Captain being your Vaporeon too, I think is also weird. Um, like I mean, I get having a defensive Terramon, but then I also want an offensive Terramon. Uh, you also are very weak to U-turn on your defensive Pokemon. Like Cresselia, I mean, you basically only have Cresselia as a general defensive Cresselia and Vaporeon, I guess, but you kind of get U-turned on for days. Hoop Unbound gets U-turned on. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a weird team. It's got a lot of double ups or even triple ups on typings. I just don't get the three pure water approach. Palafin, I feel like, is a mistake when you have ridiculously fast Iron Bundle, ridiculously fast and strong Iron Bundle already. It just feels very redundant. Vaporeon, I mean, you know, you're not weak to water. You don't really need the water absorb. I know you can Wish Pass, right? I imagine that's the point, right? Wish Pass into Hoopa, which has low HP, and Wish Pass into Iron Bundle. But I feel like there are other Pokemon that can do that aren't Vaporeon. I mean, it's a great Pokemon. It's a very great Pokemon in draft, I think. But I don't know, for this team, I feel like it's a bit of a mistake. Because, like, what are you going to do? Switch out of your Iron Bundle into your Vaporeon and on an Electric or Grass move? Like, what? And you don't even have a Ground type? You have three Water types. And a Mega Flying type. And then a Web Setter Flying type. You don't have a single Electric Resist on your entire team. The only Pokemon you have is Jolteon to deal with electric types. And this is not the switch in you want. You you have 65 base HP and 60 defense. This Pokemon is going to die to being breathed on. You have 0 switch-ins for electric, and all of your Pokemon are weak to it. Or at the very least, don't resist it. uh, so like your one weakness of your Iron Bundle is like not covered. Um, you don't really have much to do against grass types either. You have Buzzwole. I mean, I guess you have a little bit more, right? But still, you've got 3 Pokemon weak to grass, and you don't even have a fire type on your team. Like I just don't. I just look. Vaporeon and Palafin should not be on this team. They should be replaced with something else. You already have your water type. Or maybe if you want Palafin really badly or Vaporeon, you can keep one but get rid of the other. You don't need 3 water types. And 2 of them do the same thing anyway, basically. And also, you already have like a bulk up Drain Puncher with Buzzwole, so it's not like you're running that set, right? So you just have Band Water and Specs Water, and then you don't even have the decency to bring Rain with that. Like if you're gonna, if you're gonna have a Specs Water type and a Band Water type, you better have a Pelipper on your team, but you don't. And then Ditto, I mean, okay, Ditto's okay. I don't know. I think this team is bad. Bad. This team is bad. You like also no switching for flying. I noticed. You have 4 ground immunities at least. You have a good ground matchup. but everything else, this type chart is dismal. Oh my god. You don't have a steel type. You don't have a rocker or a spiker or this is the worst team of all time. This, this might actually be the worst team I've ever seen. And no offense to like and subscribe, which you should do, but this is not good. You don't have rapid spin. You do have defog, right? But you have defog on Pokemon that want to attack, except for Masquerain. All you have is web. You don't have any rock spikes, T spikes. You have not enough hazard removal for this team, I think, when you have a bunch of rocks weak Pokemon that are very important. And like the one thing you do have is speed. It's fast. Um, but wow, wow, you have a lot of crippling weaknesses though, and there isn't really much room for Trick Room either on this team, which you would think you would want with Cresselia plus Hoopa Unbound, right? I mean, you can do that combo, but wow, yeah, I mean, this is I mean, how do you bring one, two, three, four, 5 electric weaknesses, all of them very important mons? Your mega, your lead, your team captain, if you will, your defensive wall, your offensive water type. Like everything's weak to electric. You have to bring Jolteon every game, and that is way too much strain on one Pokemon. If you run into the guy who has what's it called, Sandy Shocks, you just lose to Scarf Sandy Shocks immediately, automatically. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, I really don't like this. I think this team is bad. Honestly, I'm gonna put it in D tier. I'm gonna put it at the back. Quiet. Okay, so that was pretty bad. Let's go on to the next one. I hope it's a bit better. This is Jaws. This is the draft owner, creator, leader, the host. I don't know what you call him, but he's the big man. He drafted Terra Annihilate, which I think is a great first pick. Weezing, I think, is a great second pick. Thundurus, also great. You have great physical attacker. You've got a great wall with tons of utility. You've got your ground switch in for that Weezing in case it's running neutralizing gas or Misty Surge instead of levitate. You've got terrain potential against other terrain teams. You've got a Terra Thundurus, which I think is an insanely strong mon with like Terra Blast flying potential. Um, you've got Cyclizar. I guess you can switch into Ghost Moose. I don't hate this. It's a pivot. Drop some Draco Meteors. Incineroar. Like the type coverage on this team is really good. Wow. Look at these first 5 mons. I don't mind Sylveon as a pick. It's strong. You already have a fairy type and Weezing, but again, I don't mind it. You're not exactly like weak to steel or anything when you've got Incineroar and Annihilate. Toadscruel, I think, could be cool because Spore is legal in this draft, um, which could actually be huge. Uh, yeah, wow, this is a really good draft. This might be the best draft I've seen so far. I didn't think about this draft when I was looking at the division stuff. I didn't think about it, like it didn't stand out to me, but I think it's actually really solid. Like there are no Pokemon here that are dead weight. Every single Pokemon is useful except for maybe Jump Fluff because you've already got a grass type, right? But Metagross is strong. Keldeo is really good. I imagine that's steal for the price. I don't know how much it is, but Grafaiai, Unburdened Potential. I mean, I don't love Grafaiai. I mean, I think it's a great Pokemon for draft because it has Unburdened, Poison Touch, and Prankster, all really good abilities, and it's got a lot of different sets it can run. Um, I just don't love it because you already have a Poison type and you already have a normal type. You don't really need this typing. Uh, but you've got Stealth Rocks, you've got Spikes, you've got Spore, you've got Defog, you've got Rapid Spin, you've got multiple Clerics, you've got even Trick Room potential, you've got all the moves you could ever want. Like, I think this is a really good draft. Annihilate, obviously super scary, and you've got Wish Passing with Sylveon, which I think is crucial to, like, imagine an Assault Vest Annihilate on this team with Wish Passing Sylveon. Ooh, that's tough. That's very tough. I think this is a very good team. I think this is the best team we've seen so far. Honestly, I might even put it to S tier later. But my only problem with it is it's got a few weaknesses. I noticed it's very weak to flying. Which I mean, every team is weak to flying. I swear, there's like no flying type switching in all of Pokemon. Um, but yeah, it's weak to flying. Uh, that's about it though. I mean, I don't really notice any immediate flaws with this team. It's got high power. It's fast. Aside from, I mean, Toadscruel isn't really fast. It's kind of a fake fast mon. But between Thundurus and Keldeo and Jumpluff, who's never coming, I'm sorry. But then Grafaiai and Cyclozar. I mean, okay. My only problem I'm realizing is that it doesn't really have a fast physical attacker besides Grafaiai, who needs a Swords Dance to do literally anything. If it's going to even be an offensive mon, right? Because you have Annihilate, right, which is like the strongest physical attacker in existence after enough hits, but it's not fast at all. It's very slow. Uh, more of a wall breaker type of deal, or like a setup bulk up sweeper, bulky sweeper, right? But like you have both Thundurus and Keldeo, you lack a little bit on the physical side, I think, in terms of speed and power. Um, Metagross sort of helps with that. It's bulky enough to be able to like set up an agility or something, and then get some good physical damage in, but that's just something I noticed. But yeah, I think this is a good team. I don't think it's quite S tier, but I think it's very strong. Uh, Now on to JV, who is probably the most famous person in this draft league. He's a YouTuber. I watched one of his draft videos where he was using a Jirachi and it took him like 50 minutes to do one game. um, but yeah, his draft I think might be the scariest, at least for my team, right? But looking at it objectively, I mean, Great Tusk, insane first pick. I mean, it's the best spinner in the game. It's got bulk up. It's got photosynthesis potential. There's so much you can do with this Pokemon. Utility, offense. You could even run like a Scarf or a Band. Roaring Moon, also ridiculously scary. Terra Enamorus, ridiculously scary. Yeah, I mean, this team is monstrous. Greninja, I think, is a bad pick. I mean, it's a great Pokemon, but you're not allowed to run Protean in this league. And it's still like, hold on, how much is it? It's 18 points for a Pokemon that doesn't like all of its things are banned. Like if you go to the rules, it Greninja is not allowed to use. I don't know where it is, but Greninja is not allowed to use either of its good abilities. It's banned from both Protean and Battle Bond, which is like for 18 points, you're taking a Pokemon with a bad ability, Torrent. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. And um, it's not that strong. I mean, its best thing is that it's fast, right? But without Protean, it's missing out on a lot of its power. It's missing out on a lot of its power, and I don't think this Pokemon is all that in this league. It's too expensive, and everything good on it is banned. But still, water type. It's very fast. You can run specs. It's not a bad. It's not a terrible pick. I just personally I would not have picked it, especially when you're planning to get Roaring Moon anyway, right? You already have a dark type attacker. I feel like you get a different water type, maybe like I don't know. I don't know what's better, but I do like it for the speed though. For speed with specs, it can hit hard with Hydro Pump still and Dark Pulse. It's a special attacker, and then you also have Roaring Moon. Like special attacker, physical attacker balance is really good. You've got knockoff and U-turn with Roaring Moon. You've got slow Volt Switch with Rotom, Chilly Reception with Slowking Galar, which actually synergizes with Vanillux, which I think is a bit of a sleeper pick. It's got Ice Body. It's got wait, what the hell? This Pokemon gets Snow Warning? I had no idea. I thought it was just Abomasnow and Ninetales, huh? But honestly, you could run Chilly Reception into Ice Body, right? Or Weak Armor probably is what's actually going to run. But um, uh, Excelgor, I don't really get. It's not bulky, obviously. It's fast. It's good speed control, but with all that speed, you can't even like kill anything with it. You might be able to revenge kill very low Pokemon or like with a super effective move on a chipped Pokemon, right? But I don't know. We'll have to see this if this Pokemon actually does anything. I mean, it can get up spikes, T spikes. I guess it can knock off. There's utility there. It can switch into ground moves too, which I like. Again, I'm very scared of like gravity mons, so anything that can switch into ground types is good. I think like a grass or bug type. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is a very strong draft. There aren't any weaknesses with it. Mega Aggron is an insane second to last pick. This Pokemon's only 11 points, and you just cannot beat it with a physical attacker, and it can run some nasty sets with like Iron Defense, Body Press. Um, yeah, this is a terrifying draft. I mean, like before Mega Aggron, it was a good draft, and then you get Mega Aggron, and you have this broken Steel type on your team. It's a very scary draft. Then like all you need to worry about are like fire types, but you're still gonna be fine because you've got Roaring Moon and Rotom Heat and Greninja to swap in on those. And then Vileplume, I've been 6-0'd by this thing in draft. I know how scary it is. It gets Strength Sap, it gets Aromatherapy, it gets Leech Seed, it gets everything. This Pokemon is terrifying. Yeah, I mean this is your draft is fast. Your draft is strong. You've got really ridiculously strong attackers. You've got the best hazard removal. You've got the best rocker. You've got good spikers. You've got T spikes even. You've got like flip U-turn potential. You've got knockoff support. You can even run screens. Uh and you've got good type diversity. Yeah, this is a monstrous team. I think this is the best team in the draft. If I'm being honest. I think this is the best team in the draft. Um let's move on though. I'd like to wrap this up pretty quickly. Tanner. So this is Tanner's draft. Naganadel is an interesting pick. It's not allowed to run a nasty plot in this league. It's got a lot of resistances. Poison Dragon's very good typing. Beast Boost is scary. Yeah, I mean, you could run like specs on this thing and deal a ton of damage. Um, it's fast too, which I like. Mega Scizor, best priority move in the game. Uh, Insanely bulky. I love these first two picks. These are both really good. You've got a physical attacker, a special attacker. You've got type diversity for days. Obviously, Naganadel resists fire. So does Arcanine, 4 times resists. Very good synergy there. Intimidate, I really like, potentially. Obviously, you want to run Rockhead most of the time, but you could run Intimidate against a very scary team. You've got double Intimidate. None of these Pokemon are useless, right? 2 very good Terra Captains, I think. Both setup sweepers, which I like on a Terra Pokemon. Clefable, again, this could run multiple sets. Usually it's probably going to run Unaware, but it might run Magic Guard. Um, it's just a good fairy type. You just got good type diversity. This is just a very solid team. You can chilly reception out into other Pokemon. No real synergy there, but wait, can this Pokemon learn chilly reception? I don't know. It can teleport though, I think. Uh, but I mean, yeah, you've got U-turn for days. You've got rockers. You even got spikes on Naganadel, but I feel like you're not going to use that. I guess you're a bit weak to ground with 3 weaknesses. One of them being 4 times weakness, and yeah, you have 2 immunities, but they happen to both be your Terra captains, which you're probably gonna terastallize at least one of them. So I would like to see like a ground resist on this team, but other than that, I mean, you're not weak to fire, which is crucial when you've got a Mega Scizor. Uh, you're not weak to fairy. I guess you kind of are, but your main guys aren't. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good draft. I worry that there's maybe not enough utility, not enough spikes type of thing. I mean, you've got tons of knockoff. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see this draft in action. I don't really know what each of these Pokemon are going to do on their own, but I think each of them are pretty interesting. Each of them have a lot of potential. Heliolisk is the only one where I don't really know what this Pokemon does. I mean, it's fast. It can Volt Switch. It's got a cool signature ability. It's immune to water. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good draft. I think it's pretty good. I think it's solid. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it after the Toxapex one. I don't think it's like so threatening that there's nothing you can do about it. It's not the fastest draft; only has like 3 fast mons, but that's okay. You've got a 121 base speed mon. You should be good on speed control. Um, yeah, I don't have much to say about this one. I just think it's solid. This is Super Blues draft. He picked Terra Stakataka as his first mon. Now this is very interesting because I don't understand what this Pokemon even does. I mean, I guess this is a kind of a trick room team. It's got 13 base speed. This team is the slowest team by far. Uh, yeah, I mean Stakataka with Terra is pretty scary, especially because it could Terra out of its weaknesses and it's super super bulky. Um, Hatterene's really good. Magic Bounce for hazard control is very strong. Ursaluna Blood Moon's terrifying in Trick Room, obviously. Even outside of it, Thunderous, I guess for utility, like spreading Prankster Thunder Wave, which I actually really like when you have a slow Trick Room team. Like I feel like you want like a Prankster T Wave mod because otherwise you're just gonna get absolutely cooked by if your Trick Room ever gets shut down. But if you've got Prankster Thunder Wave or maybe even Tailwind, you can come back from some bad situations. I like Terrain. Terrain gives you bonus points for sure. Overall, I mean, there are no useless mons on this team. This is another one of those drafts where every Pokemon has some kind of purpose. And you can knock off and defog with Mandibuzz. You've got Rapid Spin on Tentacruel, and it's just a poison type and a water type, which your team lacks. Farigiraf, I think, is kind of strong on Trick Room. I don't really remember what it does, but it's slow and it does a lot of damage, I think. Spidops for webs in case you can't get up Trick Room, but you want to still, like, there's a team with, like, say you're up against a team with a bunch of Trick Room setters that can turn off your Trick Room at any point, or Trick Room abusers that are, like, already slow, right? Like, if this ran into my team, right, I don't have Trick Room, but I have a lot of very slow Pokemon, so he might not want to set up Trick Room against me, so he might want to bring Spidops instead. Only thing is, this team is slow, but I feel like with webs plus Trick Room, I know there was another team with webs that I rated lowly because of its speed, but because you have outs in case Trick Room doesn't go up, thanks to Prankster T Wave to neutralize really fast bonds, or Prankster Tailwind in an emergency, or webs, or multiple Trick Room setters. I mean, you've got 4 Trick Room setters. I think this team's going to be fine. And you've got priority with Grassy Glide. So I like this team is well equipped to deal with the weaknesses of Trick Room. You even got a Terracomoa, which I didn't even comment on, but that's a terrifying Pokemon. But yeah, the type balance is good on this team. You've got resist to ground, which I think is very important. Uh, yeah, you've got switch-ins for everything. You've got tons of immunities. Yeah, I think this is a very good team. I think this is a very strong team. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I know it's Trick Room team, right? Trick Room can't be that good, but this Trick Room team's pretty damn good. Um, we're approaching the end of the draft now. Dirty Kai picked Darkrai, sniped my Primarina. Unfortunately, would have been really good on my team. Uh, I don't really get leading off with two like special attackers. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You got Zero Aura, but yeah, I don't know. That was a bit of a weird thing to me. I felt like Primarina was kind of a weird Pokemon to pick with Darkrai. But I think this core, these three are really good. Primarina, Darkrai, and Zero Aura. Zero Aura obviously is like it might as well be the fastest Pokemon of all time because anything faster is useless against it. Um, Skarmory is really strong for spikes. Mega Charizard X is really strong. Only thing I'd say is this team really wants a Rapid Spinner. When you've got a Mega Charizard on your team, you can't switch into rocks. You need hazard support, and you don't have that really. You've got a defogger, right? But you're not going to switch in your Charizard to defog away the spikes. You're not going to waste a Mega Charizard to defog, right? Ignoring the fact that you're going to take half your health coming in on rocks, right? But whatever. You've got knockoff. This seems not bad. I'm running out of things to say. My voice is starting to die from how long I've been talking. But yeah, it's a decent team, I think. You've got Trick Room potential even with like Slowbro Galar and Porygon. Um, I like Porygon too. It's super bulky. I feel like you could. You're not weak to Dark, so you have a few mons that can switch in on Dark types, wanting to knock off your Violite, which is good. Uh, Again, only one Terra Captain. I don't like that. I don't like these teams that have one Terra Captain, especially when they're uh, a defensive Terra Captain. I feel like if you don't want two offensive Terra Captains, I get it, right? Because they both need it, right? If you don't want two defensive ones, I get it. But like, you know, JV can get away with it because he has a Terra Enamorus, and like you're bringing Enamorus to every game. Obviously, you're going to Terra your Enamorus, right? But I feel like it's a bit of a waste when you're Dirty Kai with your Palisand, which is, it might come to every game for all I know, right? But I just feel like imagine if you had I don't even think it's legal to have Terra on this, but imagine if you had a Terra Zera Aura, right? Or even a Terra Primarina, right? I feel like it's missed potential. And ground Ghost is already a really good typing. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like this is a bit of a situation where you really would like that extra Terra. The team's fast, which I like. I mean, it's not like blazing fast, but you've got some of the fastest Pokemon, so you're not going to be worried about speed for sure. Um, I like Mienshao. I think it's a good pick. Slowbro. You've got double regen going on here. It's cool. I mean, you're probably not going to run regen on Slowbro Galar, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a decent team. A little weak to ground, which I don't like. Especially when one of your only ground switch-ins is weak to gravity, which is Skarmory. But other than that, it's not bad. I think this is a solid team. It's strong. It's scary. Not a ton of utility, but Skarmory alone is a very dangerous, difficult mon to deal with. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. I'm gonna put it below the Iron Valiant team. Um, Moving on to Club Chase Sharp. Now this is the team everyone's talking about, right? Excuse me. This is the team everyone's talking about. Tapu Koko is a very dangerous lead. With Electric Surge to set up the three different Quark Drive mons that we for some reason let him get. Terra Iron Moth is terrifying. Iron Boulder is terrifying. Treads can even be okay. Treads not terrifying. I'm gonna be honest. This Pokemon is ass. This Pokemon is a total fraud. I don't understand how anyone has ever used this Pokemon. I'm sorry, it's terrible. Its only redeeming qualities is typing. Uh, and it can rapid spin. But yeah, I mean, you've got rocks, you've got spin. Uh, you've got two spinners actually. Uh, I mean, it's very strong. It's very threatening. You are weak to water, but then very strong pick. I think very good pick in Mega Sceptile. Not only do you just never have to worry about speed control ever, there are no teams that can even hope to outspeed this. Your like slowest mon is 106 speed. Like that's your slowest fast mon. And then you've got 110, 124, 130, and 145. Like nothing's outspeeding this. Um but yeah, you've got very threatening special attackers. You've got great utility in Coco, and it can be threatening on its own. You've got Calm Mind, Terapagos. You've got uh Swords Dance, Iron Boulder, but it can also run Band. Like you just have so much offensive pressure, and you've got a decent defensive backbone because you've got screens, you've got Terapagos, you've even got Treads, which again is fraud, but whatever. You've even got Corsola Galar, which I think is pretty good as long as you can neutralize those dark types. That's the only thing I'd say is that I feel like if you're going to bring a Pokemon that just gets 6-0'd by knockoff, you should probably and you have an Iron Boulder, which is also weak to Dark. You should probably have a Dark answer, and you don't want to switch Tapu Koko in on a knockoff, right? Because you just lose your Light Clay. So like, and Girder's gonna lose his Guts boost, right? And it's not even that good of a Pokemon to begin with. Oh, it's probably gonna run to Violet actually, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, you don't have much in the way of dealing with Dark types. That's my only problem with this team. But it's pretty scary. I don't see what Murkrow does, but it'll come to one game and then like Prankster Defog or Prankster Tailwind or something. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously very threatening, very top heavy. Everything after Mega Sceptile's kind of downhill. I mean, Terra Araquanid was actually a really good snipe. I was looking at my matchup against this team, and like, just like you think you have them owned. You think you have this guy owned, and then he just has an extra Pokemon that just solves his weaknesses. Like Araquanid and Mega Sceptile solve so many matchups for him. He's got great Terra captains. I think this is a very good team. I would put it at the top of A. I think maybe below the Annihilate team. I think that Annihilate team is really scary. Well, hold on. Let me. No, I'm gonna put it above it. I'm definitely gonna put it above it. Might even be S tier. I don't know. We'll see. X Elemental. I'm gonna start blitzing through these now. Tons of knockoff, stealth rocks, spikes, tons of utility, defoggers for days, court change, heal bell, trick room, U-turn, you name it. This team has it all. It's got sand, it's got sand force, Mega Garchomp with Sandstream, Tyranitar. Almost all of his mons are immune to Sandstorm chip too, which is very nice. Natural Cure Celebi with Terra, I think is actually really good. Gliscor is the best knock absorber in all of Pokemon, obviously. Uh, this team is very scary. It has no real obvious weaknesses, right? Even you might think, oh, you have two mons 4 times weak to ice, and then you have water types that are weak to freeze dry. But no, he has Empoleon, so he's fine. Only thing I would have liked to see on this team is maybe like a rock type, right? Like imagine like an Iron Defense Garganical with Sand defense, right? For the price, it would be really good, I think. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can't Alomomola to flip turn safely into your various threats. I mean, the only thing I'd say is that the team lacks immediate speed plus power. Like you feel like you want mons that are both fast and hit hard immediately. You want a few of those, right? And you basically only have Cinderace for that. Team in general is pretty slow. Um, but when you have a Mega Garchomp that tanks everything and can set up Scale Shot, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. You have a Kilowattrel, which I feel like is a weird pick on sand, considering you're just gonna miss your Hurricanes. Um, but it's fast, hits decently hard. I don't hate it. I mean, these last two are kind of dead weight, I feel. These aren't going to be brought. Um, but the other guys, they're really good. So I think it's just a solid draft. It's going to be hard to beat. Uh, it's not too reliant on weather, but it likes having the weather and it can set up its weather. Um, yeah, I think it's just very strong. I'm gonna put it in A. I'm gonna put it above the Annihilate team. Archangel. This team. The first thing I notice about this team is that it has no Terra captains. Does the other team have Terra captains? Yeah, it had two Terra captains. Cly scores one of them. Really good. Best Terra captain in the game. You don't have any. And, you know, I thought, you make up for that pretty easily by just picking a bunch of really good Pokemon with the extra points, right? Which, again, I still think that's a bad idea. I feel like you want Pokemon that can Terrastalize. But then you pick, like, Slurpuff and Hitmonlee and Monkey Dory and Hattrem. Like, you're really not taking advantage of those extra points that you're saving uh, through not taking a Terra Captain. So that immediately, I think, deducts a lot of would-be points for this team, right? Secondly, this team has good speed control. Dragapult, like second fastest Pokemon ever. You can even run like Choice Band if you want to, right? With like Phantom Force, Dragon Darts. Not very many people have a normal type, so that would be really good actually. So you've got speed and immediate power, which I like. Tapu Fini has kind of an anti-synergy though, preventing Dragapult from doing hazards or dragon moves, which is kind of silly. Like Primarina was available when he took Tapu Fini, but he was just like Archangel was insistent that uh Tapu Fini, he just didn't want to deal with status moves, even though he has the best status spreader in the game himself, and he has a ground type that's immune to Thunder Wave, and a poison type, and a steel type. So and a fire type. Like he's got everything to deal with the different status anyway. So I don't know. That I thought was a bit weird. But Ting I still think these three Pokemon are insanely strong. Yeah, there's a bit of an anti-synergy, but as long as you don't bring in Dragapult during the Misty Terrain turns, you'll be fine for the most part. And I still think these are very strong Pokemon. These four are just insanely scary. They're all kind of bulky. They're all very strong. Dragapult's very fast. Tapu Fini's good special attacker with Calm Mind potential. Tapu Fini, or sorry, Ting is like the best spike setter in the game, best rock setter in the game. You don't really need anything else for rocks, so I get only having this, right? And you have Rapid Spin on Hitmonlee, and you've got Defog on two of your guys. And then you've got Celesteela, who can either run like a fast setup sweeper, I think. I don't really know what it runs in National Dex, or it can run like a defensive Leech Seed set, which is what I run whenever I use it. Uh, though I've only used it in Monotype on like Steel and Flying teams, but that's the set it always runs in that. Uh, and it's so great because you have either a fire move or a flying move to threaten grass types that switch into Leech Seed. So it's really scary to go up against. Mega Kangaskhan I think is really good too. Seismic Toss is banned, but Power Up Punch is still legal, and this Pokemon still just does tons of damage. The rest of the mods I think are just whatever. I think this is very top heavy draft, and then not having a Terra Captain's a big deal. But these 5 mons are coming to every game probably, and they're gonna put in work. The last mon, I feel like you've got some decent choices, but nothing too crazy. Um, I don't know. I think this is a very strong team, though. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it above the Annihilate team. I think it's better. I don't know. I just feel like these mons are just too strong for me to put it any lower. But yeah, I mean, this is my tier list. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I would have to go through every team again to decide on what I want to reorder it. There are just too many teams in this draft. So yeah. But all in all, I think we have a pretty interesting league on our hands. I don't think there are any teams that are like completely useless. I think some teams are better than others. Like again, I think that Iron Bundle team is really bad. Who was that? Oh, oops. Who was that? That was like and subscribe. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe I just don't see the vision, but yeah, I have a big problem with this team. It's is it that bad though? No. Yeah, you're really weak to electric. Yeah, this team has a lot of flaws, I think. But it's not it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna move it up a bit. I'm gonna move it to C tier. So this is my draft. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.